Boy. What we got up in here? Let me see. Having a request. Trying to get involved. This is camera up. And the joint. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can fix my internet for a quick second because it's acting up. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Let me get my Wi-Fi on. All right. Good. I can see you. You can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. What's going on, fam? What's going on? How you
What is
doing?
happening? Good, good.
You know what's
How are
funny?
you?
Every time I talk to you, it always results in me drinking. So I think
You got to cope somehow.
that I gotta go somehow. Because every time I talk to you, it results drinking and venting.
I know. I know. It's Sunday night. What is this? It's Sunday night. What are we doing?
It's raining on my end. I don't know how it is out there. I don't know if it's raining on
It's
your end.
raining.
Yeah, so
It's raining.
it's raining. So I don't even want to waste time. I just want to ask you a quick question. Are you are you ready for Sharia law? Are you ready for Sharia
Hmm.
law to come up in here?
I don't have to worry for now. But
Are,
apparently New York City does. New York City, New York City.
are you ready to pray the 5 times a day, baby?
You know what?
Alhamdulillah, you ready?
That's is it crazy? Is it crazy?
You know, you said something in the videos that you posted it 3 days ago, and you were like really mad at like the the Democrats, which is a they're a fair group to blame. But you know what's crazy? Like I saw the interview you did with Cast with Angelica Castro. It was crazy because that video was like what 4 years ago, and it was like a weird prophecy because she was saying that socialism is gonna come over here. And I remember your face, you were like on panic mode. And you were like, she was like, yo, socialism is gonna come here. Probably not in our generation, but she said probably during her kids' generation, which is now. And she made a valid point. It's not because, you know, these guys were just like smart people and got into the politician game. It's because our government system sucks. You know, after COVID, a lot of things done happened that we're not really paying attention. And what happened is they do a great job promoting socialism and communism. We do a shitty job dismissing capitalism. We don't promote it and say why you should like invest in capitalism because it's a great system compared to the other two. And they just, you know, they played the long run and they work overtime. They go to these colleges, they
Right.
go to these kids. I mean, last month, you know, I talked about on my radio station. You posted a video that you had these teachers talking to kindergartens praising Castro. And I'll be honest, because I live in Massachusetts, I'm around all these colleges, and I went to college myself out here. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. It's just like now everybody's seeing it, and now they're sticking their chests out. They were just waiting for the perfect
Right.
moment. They were just waiting
Yeah.
for the perfect moment. So, and you got to remember, New York was in a really weird spot because you had Adams, who nobody liked. You had Cuomo, who was killing grandparents, and forget about that. Like, I had people in New York that almost got caught up with Cuomo's mess, like literally almost dying. So it was a lot of they got desperate. And it's a variation of a lot of people. I mean, you got, I talked to a lot of kids, and they have like this weird sense of, a variation, they have a weird sense of hopelessness because you teach them, go to school, go to colleges, you get a good job. And they don't get that. They go to college, they get the grades, but they're in debt. They're back at their parents' house. They're living somewhere in the city with 4 roommates. They're getting a job that's barely passing by. They're competing with other college kids that are graduating, so they're not winning the competition. So a variation of that. The entitled liberal white women that feel as though is needed, that they need to be on the spot. The bumps. And the rich entitled kids that mommy and daddy paid for their stuff, so they don't know what work is. Mandami, ladies and gentlemen. Castro, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a lot of mixed bag on this kind of thing. But I know I talked to one of my homegirls that lives in Miami, and she's like at a nervous wreck because out of all places it happened in New York City, and New York City is New York City, whether you love it or hate it. But I mean, I laughed at it because I got my own problems in Massachusetts. I got to deal with a nutback mayor. But I mean, I don't live in Boston, but the lady in Boston, she does cause a lot of shots. I live in a small city, and it's Democrat, but they're still normal. They're very moderate. They're right in the middle. They're not really losing their damn mind like the people up in Boston. But I say, let the baby have their bottle. Let them have their candy and figure out what it is when the thing fails and hit the fan. That's all you could do.
Yeah. I know, and that's all you can do. 2 things there. I believe that these people take advantage of opportunities. Castro, like you mentioned, Castro, he took advantage of the opportunity in Cuba. They had a leader that his term was catastrophic. He took advantage of that. He saw a moment and he seized it. And that's what Miami did. I mean, obviously the people.
Your internet is messed up. Your internet is messed up. I can't hear you. I'm losing you. The internet on your end.
Okay, wait. I don't know what. Let me. If the weather hazy and connection is like kind of weird.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, so basically, these people always seize an opportunity, and I think that this was the perfect storm. He came in, he said all the right things because he is charismatic, like, so many of these people are. He's likable to a certain degree. Some of us could see through him and through his message and through his beliefs. Other people just fall for he can answer questions and he can rap and he can, do little songs and smile a lot. So he's, semi-funny, and that should be okay. That's it. He's that he gets a pass.
Yeah.
So he can definitely work the media. His mom's a filmmaker, so he can definitely sell a story. We know this to be, true. And I think that, a lot of people, and I have to make a video about this specifically, a lot of people were commenting on the video that I said, we're full here in Florida. Please do not come to Florida to mess up the market as they did during COVID. And a lot of people are saying, well, it's just New York City and not everybody voted. But I wanted to say that not everybody voted, but this is also on the people that for years have decided not to, give an F. They're like, okay, well, I'm not going to vote because I don't believe in anybody, that's running. They don't represent me, and regardless, and that was me for many years politically. I was like, well, I'm not going to complain. So, whatever, whoever wins, I mean, they won, whichever. It's on us when things fail through the years because we failed to take action and we failed to put our vote in place. And if you are a conservative in a very liberal area and you fail to vote consistently time and time again over the years, your voice is going to be completely null. Because if you vote, even if you don't win, statistically, there will be somewhere registered that in that area, there's a certain amount of people that are not radicalized, that they're more, because of their vote, you will see like which way they shift. But in this case, if you only allow the people that have the, that identify with the radicalization to vote, then you're giving really your voice away. You mentioned something. So it's on everybody. It's not just on the people that voted, which were not a lot, but were enough. Yeah. But also on the people that didn't vote and haven't voted consistently, systematically for many years. You mentioned that now is, all we can do is buckle up and see what happens, and this is, I was thinking about this the other day, and honestly, New York is not going to turn into a communist Cuba, communism. New York City is a city within New York. It still has, other cities, or other mayors. It's got a governor. It's got a president. It's within a country. No, whatever he wants to do, we know is not going to work. My fear is that the people that voted for him, and even people throughout the country that didn't vote because they don't live in New York City, but believe in what he stands for, my fear is that the same thing that always happens with socialists will happen. They fail because their policies don't work. And what's going to happen is he's going to blame those who hate him and hate socialism so much for his failures. He's going to blame the big bad capitalists. He's going to blame the federal government for not giving the aid that he required. He's going to blame everybody else for being a stone in his, in his path. And what's going to happen is he's not going to be able to bring forward all the things that he has promised, obviously, and the ones that he does bring forward are going to fail. That's a given.
That's a given.
Like, take that to the bank. And so he's going to blame it on everybody else. And the people that voted for him are going to believe that. They're going to roll with that. They're going to roll with it wasn't his fault. He really wanted to, but Trump didn't let him because the federal government didn't let him, because nobody liked him, because the capitalists don't want socialism to thrive. That's what's going to happen. And my fear is that the people are going to blame it on the system, on the capitalist system, for Mamdani's failures. And in the future, what they're going to do, not only in New York City, but throughout the country, is actually have a more fierce demand for socialism as a country, because they're going to see it as long as the federal government and the U.S. as a whole stands for capitalism as its core economic, then they're going to see that as an obstacle and start pushing for socialism to go beyond just like major cities, but to be a system that is implemented nationwide. That's what because they will never accept failure. And I think that unfortunately, we could sit back and we know it's not gonna succeed. But my fear is that they're not gonna say, oh, it didn't succeed because socialism really sucks and his policies were never gonna succeed. No, they're not gonna blame it on him. They're gonna blame it on external factors, as they always do. People are gonna fall for it, and it's gonna be a cycle of people just wanting to push this throughout the country. That's my opinion, and that's what's fearful to me.
But here's the thing: those kind of people already make up an excuse for everything. So I mean, look at us. Every time we talk about communism in Cuba, well, that's not real communism. It wasn't really practiced right. It's the U.S. fault. It's the embargo, or the definition of socialism is really this, then, the third. Technically speaking, Jesus was a communist, so blah 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 blah. So they're always trying to find a way to use an excuse. People that have a communist and socialism mentality, they're never good for accountability. They don't account themselves for nothing. Everything is their fault. The system is never them saying maybe this sucks. They're always trying to find a cop out. So expect that too. But the good thing about it, for the most part, I'm still a firm believer that socialism, communism is still heavily unpopular in this country. It's just something with the Democratic Party that they don't know how to control their kids because they're being a mess right now. It's still a 50-50 with those guys. They have to do something to fix it. They know that. That's why they're all in shambles right now, because they know they created a mess, so they don't know how to fix this problem. Because I mean, even right now with the governor in New York, I mean, I don't know if you saw if you follow the thing on TikTok, she said, or on Instagram, she supported him, but when she was on stage, she said, "Yeah, I'm not taxing none of y'all people. I'm not taxing the uber rich or whatever the case may be. Good luck on that." Yeah. And she said she's not going to do it. Now she's kind of have to bring it back a little bit, because now she's in a weird spot, because when she was running for governor, there was nobody to oppose her and compete with her. Now there's a Republican governor who's competing with her, and she's gaining a lot of momentum. You have another person that just jumped in, who's now that he saw Mamdani, he's sticking his chest out and then claiming himself as a democratic socialist. So he's sticking his chest. So now she's Where do I go? Where do I go? So that's going to be the problem that the Democratic Party as a whole, they're going through right now, because they got the Republican Party and then they got their own crew right there trying to get rid of them. So they're in a really weird spot, and it's up to them to fix it. If they survive this mess, maybe they'll be up to them if they survive this mess, maybe after this, they'll finally stick their chest out and say, no, we're not a socialist Democratic, so we're not none of this stuff. We're Democratic, and this is what it's going to be. Because now that he won, those DSA kids, now they're sticking their chest up, and now they don't even say Democratic socialists anymore. Now they say, yo, we socialists. This is what it is. We need to get the Democratic Party out and have this kind of movement in. So now that he won, they're sticking their chests out. But now that we see the way they're sticking their chests out, now we know for what it is. We, the Cuban community, knew what it was since the jump, because we peeped game from a mile away when we see this nonsense. Now it's up to them to figure this stuff out. And there's a little, there's a little evilness in me that's kind of cheering for this, because I've been screaming like a madman on the radio show. I scream on the podcast. You know how I give it up on Instagram. Nobody listens to me. So maybe this could be the one that at least the people that have that mentality, half of them will look at it and be like, oh, I was just caught up with some nonsense.
Yeah. No, the hope is that that this is going to be a complete disaster, and they'll be able to see through, what the intention is on that side. I just, when we started, you mentioned the Democrats again. This is the thing. The Democratic Party has changed so much through the years, and I think their biggest mistake has been to embrace that left wing. And that extreme left, that DSA left, is so against the Democratic Party. They just had no choice. They had no choice, because that was the only party that would allow them to, gain momentum and start. So I think that now, I kind of disagree with what you're saying, that it's not a lot of people. I'm seeing AOC gaining more momentum in terms of she's getting more emboldened with, this whole Bernie thing, trying to see if there's there's rumors that she may run for 2028. Not that she will win, but never underestimate anybody. I just think that these people know how to camouflage so well. Yeah. And there are many people that don't have like a set belief yet. They're not defined in their like political ideology, political belief, and they're easily swayed. And someone like AOC comes and she doesn't read as that extreme as Mamdani, but she doesn't, necessarily come across that way. And she can easily fool people. Because she's also very, likable when she speaks, but not all the time. But you know what I mean. She's young, and she can appeal to like. So I don't know. And honestly, it's sad. But at this point, you were talking in the comment that you made on my video. What can we do to stop it? Mike, education, like we have failed so badly as a community to educate our children, because we've been afraid of passing on our traumas to them, because we don't want to, we don't want them to be like predisposed because we went through so much and they live in freedom. Now we want them to enjoy this full freedom. We have failed them miserably, because at this point, these kids have no idea what's going on. And they are being persuaded by a whole educational system that is designed to go against every single thing that we stand for, like at its core. So we need to start at home. And a lot of people have written to me about that because I make the video saying, talk to your kids about politics. Like now, like you talk to the kids about the birds and the bees, you talk to your kids about policies. You talk to your kids about, because if you don't talk to them about politics, someone else will. And they will talk to them in the way that you probably do not agree. You may not get lucky, it may be someone that believes something completely different. So I think it's important it starts at the home, because communism really and socialism, they aim to take possession of a child's education, a child's soul. They aim to take possession of a child's custody, in not just physical custody, but in general. Like I remember going in Cuba, you used to go to school, they used to vaccinate you. No one needed to sign a paper. They vaccinated you as they pleased, as they deemed fit. And you got home, y te habían inyectado, and you're like, well, I came vaccinated. And the parents just found out after the kids came home, because the state kind of has that sense of ownership over the kids. So is that custodial, like system where the kids don't belong to the parents necessarily, they belong to the system. And so in general, socialism stands for that. It stands for to destroy everything that actually holds up a society and makes it strong, which is family, faith. So it attacks every one of those things, and as soon as those things are like disintegrated, we have we're in danger. We're in danger. The family structure is disintegrated and we're in danger. And I'm not saying that it isn't okay for, there to be single family homes. You can't help it sometimes. That's just the way it is. What is not okay is to glorify it and to say that it is the ideal situation. There will be single moms, and that's perfectly fine. And there will be amazing role models for every generation, and that's perfectly okay. We just have to learn to acknowledge that is not ideal. Even though it's okay and it's going to happen, we're going to have it. That is not ideal. And we need to understand that they're going to need more support than maybe the, two-parent homes. Like, we just need to own those things. But we haven't. And as a society, we've stayed quiet because we've been working, because we've been avoiding the drama, because we don't want to get involved too much, because you know what? Politics is dirty, Mike. It's dirty. It's nasty. And and the minute you choose a side, you pick a side, you become disillusioned. You're like, F this. And then you don't want to, you don't have anything to do with it ever again. And that's a mistake, because we can't escape it. It's just what rules everything we do. So we need to be involved, and we need to just, I wasn't brought up in a home that talked about politics a whole lot. And I do see now the damage in the sense that it wasn't, they didn't do it intentionally. They just were not worried about politics.
It wasn't a thing. We got to pay bills.
Right. I mean, my parents were severely and clearly anti-communist, but they were not political here in the U.S. They knew what they defined anti-communism, but not political. Because, Mike, we didn't really see a big danger, years back. 20 years back, we didn't really see it clearly. Some people were always clear from the beginning, but in general, people were like, we're living our lives, Democrats, Republicans, everybody just, get along, everybody, Democrat or Republican president, slightly different policies, but it was never a fear or a clear intention of socialism, like a party clearly supporting socialism. And that's happening. So it's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy too, because my stepdaughter, she was in high school, and when she was going to high school, that's the year that she went to high school. That's when I was learning about that whole 50 different genders, the non-binary. That's when it was hitting his peak. So she was telling me all this stuff, and I was catching migraines. Thank God she got away from that mess, because when Charlie Kirk passed away, she actually put a rest in peace, rest in peace to his family. And I looked at her stuff like, pero un momento, hold on, what's going on here? Because I know where she rose at politically or whatever. And I'm like, look, I wasn't a fan of the man, but I didn't believe his family he shouldn't get killed like that, Right. And I knew friends of mine that loved his politics. And I was like, all right, what kind of people you hanging out with? Because last time I was out with you, you damn near became a communist last time I was out with you. It's like, no, I'm seeing, because now she's older now, so now she kind of sees the world a little bit different. She follows my page. She sees the stories about the Cubans. Now she's getting a little bit more educated. The reason why I'm being a bit more optimistic now, because besides the Mamdani guy, there was 5 or 6 extreme socialist people that ran for mayor and governor all over Minnesota, and they all lost. They lost big. Right. They lost really, really big. It just Mamdani became the face of this shenanigan. And
even the people New York City.
Yeah, that's why, because it's New York City. So I get the hype. And you also got to remember, it's like a fascinating story. Like, he had a 1% chance of winning. He does a debate. He crushes it. He beats Cuomo not once, but twice. It's a Cuomo. So it's a nice little story, for the media. So I get it why they blow it up. But even with Jersey and Virginia, I mean, there was 2 Democrats that won. But even those 2 winners they were very moderate. They're not nutcase right now. That's why I still feel a little bit optimistic. And then the states that are pumping the crazy socialist stuff is like the expected states: New York, Chicago, California. I know for California, they're trying to get Nancy Pelosi seat right now. So there's 3 people competing in that. I expected those. Even with Massachusetts, as much as socialist as it is, it all depends what part of Massachusetts you're at. Boston is nuts. Where I'm at is very moderate. You're normal out here where I'm at right now. So it all depends what part of the state you're at that is very normal. That's why I'm still being a little bit more optimistic. And also with these kids, of course they love Mandami because they love the free stuff right now. But I also remember being in school, they're all for that, and they don't really understand politics like that yet. And they're very either naive, not too informed, and also very entitled. So I think once they hit the mid-20s or whatever, and once they see what money looks like, what ownership looks like, oh, wait a minute, I got to get this job. I got to pay for this. I got to pay for taxes, that. I got to get this property. Like once they realize how money works, I also believe they'll be a quick fast also. And I think it's just the moment right now. You got to remember, these are the kids that went through COVID right now. So they were stuck in the house for damn near 2 years. So these are the generation right now that are losing their damn mind and don't know where to go with things. And the school system just completely messed them up. So it's time for us to try to retract them and just bring them back to reality. And this is like the perfect storm. I'm excuse me. I'm still more optimistic or whatever the case may be. Right now, we got to fight more than ever and just crush this shit down because now it's just getting nasty and they're getting very emboldened. They're very, very broad with it. And now they're feeling safe now. The word is out. We could do this.
Yeah.
So before I forget, how was the event with your aunt?
It was great. It was great. Yes, it was really nice. The whole family, well, not the whole family, but a lot of the family was there. We had people from Spanglish Generation there that follow us, which, our family as well. It was really, really good. She was so happy. We just had a good time, man. We had a good time. Raudel was there. He did his thing. We had musician. He's a teenager. He's an amazing saxophone player. He was there as Alex Ramirez. We had Vivian Maria, who's a host of Cubaneando. We had like, it was really good. We had Kiel, she did her thing too. Like, it was just nice. And it was beautiful to see like some, like a celebration of someone that's been so special to our family and, to her community in general. And for her to be able to see it, in person, like live, because we usually tend to do these things when people, like honor people when they're not here. But for her to see that, the impact that she's caused and we just had fun. We had a fun time. It was really good.
Now, what's the premise of the book? Because I knew nothing about it until somebody called me and told me they went down there. So I knew nothing about this event. What was the premise of this book? And
she wrote the book as a way to leave behind. She's 89 now. She's retired.
Oh, bless her.
I know. She retired 2 years ago because she fell. If not, she'd still be working. She's a nurse, so she wrote the book as a way of leaving like her legacy written down somewhere. She wrote it so people know her story and where she comes from. So all of us, like that's where my mom comes from, like they're sisters. So reading about it gives me like an insight of what they went through. And the book is crucial because she talks about the transition from the Cuba that was before the revolution and what became after. The transition came when she was in nursing school. And she talks about like, the way that everything became militarized, the way things changed. She talks about my Aunt Teresa and, may she rest in peace, and her fiance who got murdered by the rebels. And she was only 16 years old. And she had a boyfriend that were, they were pretty serious, and in that time kids got engaged and married pretty young. And he got killed. And so, things that really just shifted and changed the family. Her decision to come to the U.S. was because, the girls were being taken to teach there was a literacy campaign in Cuba, and the young girls were being not teachers, not like professional educators. It was a campaign of taking young girls to the country to teach, los campesinos, the farmers and stuff, to read and write and stuff like that. And there was a specific case in our family where one of those girls was molested by one of these men, out, and she was completely traumatized. She had to get psychiatric help after that. And so there were many cases like that. And she said, I don't want my children to grow up in this country. Like, this is not what the revolution promised. This is completely different. And she had a cousin here. And through that cousin, they were able to make it to Jersey and then eventually to Miami.
And good old Jersey.
But she talks about how she went from being one of 14 brothers and sisters who went to school on a horse, an hour and sometimes 2 hours on a horse to get to and from school. The first one to make it to school, the first one to make it to the US, to bring a whole bunch of the family here. And she became a very powerful entrepreneur in the 1980s and 90s. So she talks about, getting from just her horse to her brand new Cadillac, back in the 80s. My aunt was like a very successful. She still is, but in the 80s she was at the peak of her game. And so I think that it's a very empowering and inspiring story, and I'm glad that she wrote it. I'm glad that it's there for me as her niece, but also for everyone that just needs that little extra pick me up, that little extra push. She's 89, she's about to be 90. And she's writing her new project, and now she's thinking about part 2. So I think that if anyone at that age is still thinking about, doing new projects, and I think that we don't have any excuse. There's it's never too late. So I think that applies to everything. That applies to everything. It's never too late to start talking to your kids about what needs to be talked about. It's never too late to do whatever you need to do. I think that that's a perfect example. And it's people like my aunt that came to this country and fought so hard to have a status, to bring their families, that were so oppressed by that system. It's people like her that deserve, it's that generation that brought us, that generation, that's the reason why we're here. They deserve for us to do better, to make sure this country, goes on a different path. Because if it doesn't, we're screwed. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, we can. I can't go to Cuba. We can't go to Cuba, so we're gonna be stuck out here. All right. Before I get you out of here, I almost lost my train of thought. Oh, wait. What's the name of the book? Where can I find it at?
Hija del Monte.
Where can
Hija
I
del Monte, and it's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Okay, it's on Amazon.
Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Okay. Bet. Okay, and what the hell's going on with you guys in Miami? How you get like a socialist man trying to get cute with y'all out there? How the hell y'all let that slide?
See that? No, she didn't make it, but we have I think it's a Democrat and a Republican, or is it two them? I'm not sure, but it's Higgins is going to the second round in city of Miami. But we had this lady, I believe her name is Laura Roberts, don't quote me on that. And she's talking about Fidel's her hero, bro, in Miami. Like how are you gonna show up in Miami and talk about Fidel's my hero? Like, you good?
Don't let that nonsense happen again. I can expect it up north, but y'all should know better. Don't let that happen again, damn it.
But that's what? So many people agree with her. So many people they're like, no, well, but the thing is that they didn't let him operate the way they pushed him to be in radical. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was
we know who those people are. I'm not even gonna call those people. We know who those people are. The same people that love Minami, the same people talking that nonsense. I don't even give those people those kind of attention. So we know who those folks are. So forget about them. I'm talking about y'all, my people's out there. That happened.
That came out of left field. That came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I was just like, what?
Yeah, the dude, the reporter, the black dude that did the reporter with it, he was hilarious. He did a live with what was that?
He did phenomenal pushing back.
No, he was phenomenal. But he did a live with what's this girl's name? Mima. They did a live like the following day after that happened, and he was talking or whatever, and his facial reaction was the thing that went viral because they were like, "Is she serious? Is she really doing this out here in Miami? She's really." Tell me I'm getting punked out here. Tell me I'm getting punked. So, and last question. When are gonna link up? We've been doing this for like 3 years now, and every time I go to Miami, I keep missing your behind. Like, you still hold me up.
Because you come, and I'm like always. I was on a work trip, then I was visiting my brother, and then where was I? Dude, like, because there's a season, like that we're always like, it's toward the end of the year.
I've been there in the summertime. I've been to winter. I've been to fall. I've been in all 4 seasons.
No, you came one time that my son was in the hospital. Was it that Alexander had something? No, that was a podcast that we missed because of Ati being like sick. But I don't know. Every time you come, it's like it's a thing.
We're gonna try to make it happen because I think I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there in December, so I'll hit you up once I get over there because you still owe me a Cuban sandwich. I'm gonna tell you over. I'm holding all y'all hostage for that. Want my damn sandwich.
Let me know. Let me know. We'll make it happen.
All
I
right,
should be here all December.
I bet. So we'll definitely talk more later. And thank you. Like always, been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah,
Have a good night.
I think I'm gonna use you at least like once a month on my show to do like a Spanglish PSA with
Like a thing,
socialism
you
and
know?
communism. Take bits and pieces of your video, just put them out there. So thank you, fam. We'll talk later.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Peace.